Bonjour, hello, year six. I hope you're well and looking forward to our French session today. So, we're going to have a look at all the learning you might have done in relating to French in the past. Because of the nature of our year five and year six in terms of lockdowns, it's not clear sometimes exactly what we've done. And also, I know that some of us from coming from different schools, such as Jeremiah, may have done more French in the past. Therefore, we're going to try and pitch this as so all of us can access it and recap how we introduce ourselves and how we express our feelings within French before we then move on to some more work over the next few weeks. Okay, today we're going to think carefully about how we show our previous language knowledge. We're going to listen to the pronunciation. So you're fortunate that it's not me pronouncing the French language in these videos, and you're going to practice verbally. Now, you're going to have to annoy people a little bit at home and walk around and practice frequently. The more you do it, the better you'll do it. Okay, so frequently practicing these language points. Now, just here, we've got a few French flags covering up elements of our information about France. Okay, so you can see one next to the capital city, the continent. You can see one on the map of France, and you can see one where the mountain ranges are listed. Now, on your sheet, you've got these flags, and I'd like you to, next to each of the flags, write down what you think goes for the capital city, for the country that is bordering France in that pink map, for the continent in which France sits, and for the mountain range that is most famous for sitting within France. So those four elements of this map, this page, have a think about what could be there and write next to each of the French flags the missing word. Lots of us got that first one. So Paris, yeah, first one's Paris. Second one, lots of us got Europe. So well done if you got Europe. One, yeah, Belgium, and this links to a lot to our World War One knowledge that we're going to develop as we go through the term within our history topic. The fourth one, we've got the French Alps, and some of you might remember that the Alps cross more than one country. We have the Alps going into Italy as well, and Mont Blanc sits on the border between France and Italy. Okay, guys, so that's looking at the first set of recall of information relating generally to France. We can also think about some other aspects. Does anybody know another main river passes through Paris that might be that's covered by that French map, that map of France, should I say? Does anybody know the first name for the emperor who was called Bonaparte? Does anybody know the forename, the first name for the scientist whose surname was Curie? Let's see if you did. Write those next to those on that sheet again. So the first one is the Seine, the River Seine. The second one is Napoleon, so Napoleon Bonaparte. And the third one was Marie Curie, okay, very famous scientist who developed a lot of treatments that have supported people in their lives today. Okay, so we've got those different aspects. Moving on then. Last week we looked at a little bit of our maths questions. I'd like you just to have a think. You don't need to write these, guys. Have a think. What would these calculations make? So we had un and un. So one add one, it would make. Well done. Okay, if we had trois add cinq. Okay, so we're adding there 3 to 5. Well done. 3 add 5 makes. Lovely job. Wheat, which is synonymous, means the same as 8. Here we got wheat, which you know is 8. Wheat est 10. Deuce. Okay, so that's 8 add 2, which makes 10, which is 10. Now, rather than addition for the fourth one, we've got 10 subtract 9. Okay, so we've got, so it's 9 smaller than 10, which is okay, so 1. And then we've got number 5, 6 add 1. Okay, 6 et 1 is 7. So 7. We're going through these, try and say them aloud as well. 4 subtract 4 is 0. Then we've got 2 multiplied by 3. I'm not going to say the operation in French. I think that'd be beyond my capacity at the moment. And here we've got 2 times 3 is 2 multiplied by 3 is 6, and then 3 multiplied by 3, so 3 times 3 is 9. Well done. Okay, so lots of you have shown your capacity for remembering your numbers there. Well done. Now we're going to think a little bit about some of our retention of some of the features of conversation. Weirdly, guys, I'm now next to that little guy over on the screen. So here we've got this first person starting, and what he'd say is, which we know means hello, what's your name? And then we've got, and he's saying, hello, and then je m'appelle means Yeah, quite right. Je m'appelle means my name is. Okay, so he's then saying that. And then finally, as our response would say, je m'appelle Amélie. Okay, so try and listen to this again and say these again. So the key bit is this B and C section. So where if we listen to B, okay, and then this final section. Okay, so hopefully through listening to that 2 or 3 times, you've then practiced just to remind yourself how you say hello, so bonjour or salut, and then you've also said you understand that comment t'appelles-tu means what is your name, and je m'appelle, and then your name means my name is. Okay, so trying to remember those elements of that. Okay, and you can practice that at home. Let's move past these ones. Sorry, guys, these slides are slightly mixed up. Okay, and now bonjour. And what would you say next? Yeah. What's your name? And what would he say next? Or what would sorry, it's she, isn't it? So initially, Amélie starts by saying bonjour, comment t'appelles-tu? And then we have salut, well done. Okay, and what does he follow up with? Well done, je m'appelle. Well done. And comment t'appelles, which means what's your name? And then we follow up with Amélie's response, which is my name is Amélie. Okay, so we've got those sections that we go through. Okay, je m'appelle means my name. Okay? Now, sometimes we might, as a language teacher, say ça va. Does anybody know what it means? There's an intonation at the end of it which indicates it's a question. So ça va, and it means basically, are you okay? Are you okay? Ça va, ça va. Okay, so let's listen to that twice more and then try and say it 3 times. And then listen to it once more. Okay, so you've heard that sound. Ça va basically means, are you okay? And then responses to that question are this first one. Have a think about what you think this response means. That smiling face indicates a very positive response. That response to ça va is, so I'm good. So bien is synonymous with good. Bien means good. And then merci, thank you. So I'm good, thank you. I'm good, thank you. Then here we've got a less happy face, which indicates how somebody's feeling. If we listen to this response, they ask the question of ça va, and the response they give is nah. And this is kind of one of those nah, so, not so brilliant, not so terrible. So comme ci, comme ça. Okay, and you can actually sometimes you might hear people saying that in English as well, or when they're speaking in an otherwise English conversation. Comme ci, comme ça kind of means yeah. So try and say that. If you're feeling comme ci, comme ça, say comme ci, comme ça. And how are we feeling about this guy? Is he happy? No. Ça va mal? Not good at all. Not good at all. And you can see here, even in the intonation there, that it's feeling a little bit unhappy at the end of it. Okie dokie. So we can see those ways of describing to somebody how we're feeling. If you look at the eyes of these guys, how do you think some of them are feeling? Let's have a look at number 1. Look at those eyes. What do we think? Do you think number 1's feeling well, feeling not so well? Ça va? She's asked ça va. What do you think she'll say? Say it out loud. What do you think she's going to respond? She's going to say ça va bien because she's got a great big smile. Her eyes smile, like Roald Dahl describes in his description of people. She's an eye smiler. You can see that she's happy. Second one, what do we think? Do we think he's happy? Not so happy? We're not sure. We'll move on. Ça va mal. Okay, so we can hear his response. Okay, there we've got the idea of a negative response. Okay, and let's have a look at this one. We'll go for this. Okay, so he's asked the question. Okay, and what do you think? He's in between, isn't he? He's a bit there, he's a bit not so much. So comme ci, comme ça. He's not sure if he's super happy, super sad. He's kind of in between. So comme ci, comme ça. So sometimes you might feel a bit comme ci, comme ça. Sometimes you feel ça va bien, merci, and sometimes you feel ça va mal. Okay, so we've got those 3 ways of describing how we're feeling that we've just looked at there. Okay, guys, that's one of these. What do we think? This footballer? What do we think? How's he feeling? Give me a shout. Okay, ça va bien. He's just scored a goal. He's very happy. So he's now saying, okay. What I like about this video, particularly, guys, is the idea that that's his voice. This international footballer, this big brute of a man who scores lots of goals. When he was playing football, Gabriel Batistuta scored lots of headers, really hurt himself sometimes, but he's got this very high pitched voice. So let's just hear him say that he's really good again. Ça va bien, merci. Okay, so we've got ça va bien, merci, which means really good, thank you. So good, thank you. Ça va mal is not good at all. And then comme ci, comme ça, comme ci, comme ça. Hopefully, from that, guys, what you've been able to do is you've recalled the information that you need to about how to introduce yourself. So, what your name is and how you say what's your name. So, comment t'appelles-tu and je m'appelle. Hopefully, you've also recalled the idea that if somebody's feeling like, or if you ask somebody how they're feeling, you say ça va, and they'll either say ça va bien, merci, comme ci, comme ça, or ça va mal. So there's three ways of describing how you're feeling. And then finally, what we're thinking about is just some of that information you might have recalled about France, because it just brings it together. So your outputs from today are this sheet primarily. I want you to think in this sheet about what you could do to just recall your information about France. And as part of that, you'll become more familiar with France. And then going forward, we'll develop our language use over the next few weeks and months. Thank you for engaging and listening today, Year 6. I look forward to seeing you all soon. Bye bye.